Yeah, you know, it's so fucking crazy piece of shit down here. You go all over the place, these motherfuckers talking to you, acting like you owe them something just because they talking to you. I'm not interested in what the fuck you're doing. And who the fuck cares in the first place? I ain't got a problem. I ain't got a problem with you. It's you, dog. You got a problem with me. And now you, bitch, are making an issue out of it. And that's why everything blows up. But there's nothing to blow up about. It's just you creating a problem because you got nothing better to do than point fingers. Who the fuck cares about how I'm doing? Care about yourself. I commend that. But keep your fucking shit out of my fucking business. You know, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at any of y'all. Why are you so concerned with how I'm doing? You don't know me. You ain't got shit on me. What's your fucking problem with me? And what the fucking shit gives you the right to judge if what I'm doing is right or wrong? I ain't give a fuck if you're interested in me. But you ain't got a fucking right to decide and judge on what I'm doing. It's my choices that make me. And it's your choices that make you. You ain't got a right to say what I say is right for me. What the fuck are you saying? That shit ain't right. We ain't got a problem until we talk to each other. So what's the problem? You want to avoid the problem? Avoid the interaction. Because the interaction is the trigger to the problem. There ain't no fucking problem, motherfucker. You create that shit. I ain't create shit. I ain't got shit on you motherfuckers. I ain't got shit on anyone. Why do you gotta come at me, tell me what I'm doing, and then point fingers saying it's wrong? What's your problem? You fucking bitch. You fucking bitch. I don't understand it. Are you telling me how I behave and how I do my things and my behavior is wrong? I'm sick and everything I do has to be treated because I'm having a mental fucking disorder. Well, guess what, nigga? Guess what, nigga? I am happy with this disorder. I feel at peace with this disorder that you call disorder. I feel in order with this disorder. There ain't no fucking problem. It's you that's calling it wrong. You are calling it a disorder. It is not a disorder. It is something that you call a disorder. You study it, you study the effects, but you ain't ever gonna know the effects because you're not in the same mental state. So you can go fuck yourself, because as long as you ain't gonna see it from the same mental state as a motherfucker with this perspective, you're never gonna see it. It's not a disorder. It's a state of mind that some of us have. Calling it a disorder is calling it wrong, and there is not. There is nothing that gives you the right to describe something. You may observe, but you may not condescend. That's what's wrong with this society. Everybody trying to change everything they see. Everybody trying to change everything they look at. It's never right the way it is. It's never right. Everybody gotta change and optimize and edit everything they see. Fuck this humanity bullshit mentality, nigga. It's straight up bullshit, nigga. It's fucked up. Humans are fucked up creatures, are fucked up assholes. They gotta change everything they see, and what's slightly out of hand, it's a condition that gotta be treated until it's normal. That's fucking racism, just like World War II. All these fucking little mishaps and small abnormalities is exactly what happened to the Jews in World War II. You trying to create a perfect world, a perfect race, where everybody can be happy while the world is not a happy place. You create pollution, you create junk food, you create toxic waste, you create bullshit nutrition and you create toxic emissions and all this bullshit in the world. You expect people to be happy even though you're doing everything against it. Abnormalities happen, so people get a little crazy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's you pointing a finger at them and saying it's wrong is what's making it a problem. The real criminals are not the people. The real criminals are the people who try to change people. And within trying to change people, that triggers people who makes them do the crazy shit that they do. If you don't start a discussion about how wrong someone is, you are never gonna get them mad. You're never gonna get someone mad unless you mention what's wrong about them. Now, of course, they're not gonna be okay with it if you call them wrong. And they're gonna get angry if you call them wrong. And when they get angry, they act out. But if you don't call them wrong, if you don't judge someone, that someone is not gonna go rob a bank. Because he's not gonna get angry at you. He's not gonna have a reason to get angry at you to do the crazy shit in the first place. It's the government that makes people angry, that makes people do what they do. But if you don't get them angry, they don't have any reason to commit a crime, so they won't get arrested. But if you trigger them, you are the reason for the crime. And society doesn't see that. They're pretending like everything's fine. Doctors put people in captivity. People They treat people like creatures who don't. They treat people I don't know. You can't put someone in captivity and expect them not to get crazy. If someone is alone, they're gonna create their own company. It's not a surprise that if you spend a month in captivity, you're gonna have the voices in your head. You imagine people talking to you when you're alone. And people say, he's crazy. Well, you made him crazy because you forced him to be alone. You make people crazy, then you are surprised when they have thoughts that are outside of this world. You put them in that position that made them think that way in the first place. If you put someone in a place that they can't deal with, they're gonna find a way to get used to that. But that's just the thing. They're gonna get used to the mental state. And you can't be surprised if they can't unhook anymore because you got them so used to it. It has become normal for them to be in this state. And you made it normal by saying that that's a treatment. So they think that's what normal is. And they can't unhook that anymore because you told them that's what's right. So that's what's right is being crazy. And then you say you want them to unlearn what you made them learn in the first place. It's just unnatural. You can't be surprised if someone acts to act that way, and then are surprised that they act that way, but you don't like it. So you can't make someone learn in the first place. It doesn't work that way. So you spinning their heads in circles and circles. You can't be surprised if they get crazier and crazier because they don't know what's right. What are you teaching them? You put them in a certain treatment. You don't like how that goes, but that treatment is what's supposed to be the all-round treatment that's normal. And you don't like how that treatment went. You try to teach them that something else is normal. It doesn't work. You can't have that. If you just leave people alone and don't trigger their issues, they will not act out. Being misunderstood is the highest misconception of this society. That's just the worst thing. People are not. For example, with depression, everybody asks them, why are you so depressed? And then they don't understand. And the people asking don't understand why it's like that for the depressed individual. And these people, the depressed people, the people who are misunderstood, keep trying to explain themselves. And they never get understood. And that's what drives you crazy. The depression itself is something you can cope with by yourself. But the misunderstanding, the hope for something that will never come, is what makes you crazy and even more depressed, because you know that what you do doesn't change anything, and no matter how much you explain, it won't change. And that what makes you so desperate and even more depressed and makes you so hopeless, because you can't explain it. No matter how much you try, the people won't get it because they're not depressed themselves. And that's the hopelessness, the despair, that no matter what you do, it won't work. And therapy doesn't work because the therapist is not depressed themselves. They have not been in the mind of a depressed person. You can study something, but it doesn't replace the experience. It doesn't replace the experience. And people have this conception of a healthy mind and of a healthy way of being. It doesn't work that way. Because depressed people aren't healthy. You can't tell someone to resort to something healthy because depressed people don't think that way. They don't resort to something healthy when they are unhealthy. Their instinct is just, it doesn't work that way. And that's where it comes in, being told to do therapy, to try to be something you're not, makes you more depressed and more suicidal because you can't force yourself into a different mind. You can try to think it from a different perspective and see it from a different perspective, but you can't be something else. And it doesn't matter how good the help is, it will not help them because it's not the same thing. It's not the same perspective, it's not the same point of view. And the more you force it on something, the worse you will get. A therapist is not a replacement for a depressed experience. And you'll make the person even more depressed by trying to force them into something they can't be. My point is the situation is not the problem. The situation is not the problem. It's what you try to do about it that triggers. It's what you try to do about it is what triggers the illness. Being depressed is very miserable. But trying to be changed because someone else doesn't like it is what makes it critical. It may not be nice to be depressed. It may not be easy to cope with it. It may not be easy to have it may not be nice to be alone and have nobody, and that all of that comes with depression. But being forced to be something else, to be happy, and it's just because people think it's better is way worse. Depressed people are depressed, it's not a choice. But being forced to be something else just because someone else thinks it's better to be happy is not going to work. And this permanent pressure of trying to be something you can't be is what triggers the lunatic shit that makes you high wire. It makes you high wire and go crazy. It's better to be miserable and lonely than to be forced into something you're not. I don't feel good, but I'd rather feel terrible and be forced into something I'm not.